There are other things happening in the world, amazingly, beside all the news surrounding the coronavirus, and I will get to it later in the show, but I want to share some other stories today. First, I want to mention, for those of you who listen regularly, you may remember the name Raymond Ibrahim. And he, if you didn't happen to hear that interview, he's been on a show a couple of times. He's the author of the book called Sword and Scimitar. And he actually can read and speak and write in English and Arabic. And he is a brilliant scholar. His book, Sword and Scimitar, basically laid out what the distinctions are between the way American constitutional law works and the way law works in Islam with respect to Sharia and the just entire different mindset that comes from Islam. He also laid out in his book, Sword and Scimitar, a lengthy history, detailed. In fact, he wrote the book because he was able to read original texts in Arabic, wrote the book to lay out the argument that Islam has been engaged at one level or another in a war against the non-Islamic world, whether it was the Jewish world and the Christian world, the non-Islamic world, since its inception, filled with details, just to buttress his point that America needs to be very alert to not just Islamic terror, but the notion of civilizational or cultural jihad. So he was invited. When we spoke one time, he was on the show because he had been invited to speak at the Army War College last year in 2019. And CARE, which is it has a very friendly sounding title, and it supposedly is about creating better relations between America and the Islamic world, but has very close ties with Islamic terror. The CARE organization put so much pressure on the Army War College that they withdrew their invitation for him to speak. They put great pressure on, describing him as an anti-Muslim bigot. And he is just the guy is a scholar beyond question, extremely well educated, as I said, reads original text in Arabic, has read the Quran numerous times. He knows from whence he speaks. But anyway, they canceled him at Army War College in response to pressure from CARE and that Council on American and Islamic Relations. But he did succeed this year. There was a lot of pressure put on by many news outlets, including my show, urging them to let him speak. And he was able to speak there recently. That was a big victory that the War College finally had, was really honored to have Raymond Ibrahim speak there and explain his book, Sword and Scimitar, and explain what challenge America faces in trying to respond to Islamic aggression and especially civilizational cultural jihad. But even at that, even though they finally relented, about 2 or 3 weeks before he spoke at the Army War College, they also invited another alleged expert, and this was someone named John Voll, V-O-L-L, who was invited to buffer or counter what Raymond Ibrahim had to say, even before Raymond got there to talk. So this is John Voll, who is a professor emeritus of Islamic history and a past associate director of the Alawi bin Talal Center for Muslim Christian Understanding at Georgetown University, which that center has received $20 million from Prince Alawi, the Saudi Arabian prince, who's always pushing Islam in America. So they had the War College, even before they had Ibrahim had this guy come to kind of say, we need to be careful. To bring the Islamic mindset and what he and many people would view as one of the very elements of Islamic cultural civilizational jihad in America, which is to fund universities and other organizations to spread their view of what Islam really is, to spread the peaceful, we're not really here to take you over, we're just here to be friendly viewpoint. So the good news, the victory, and I'll close out the first 5 by saying it is a victory that the Army War College got to have Raymond Ibrahim speak there. It was a little bit chicken-hearted on their part, in my view, to first have, and it probably was in response to pressure from CARE, but to first have someone come there and really not only discount the idea that America should be concerned about cultural and civilizational jihad, which is happening right in front of us, but also someone who has been particularly critical of Raymond Ibrahim's book, which, whether you like him or don't like him or don't appreciate his style, the book is encyclopedic in its content, footnoted beyond question. It is truly a scholarly piece that really made great help America make great progress. More Americans make great progress in understanding the threat we face in our country if we are unable to recognize the forces of civilizational and cultural jihad in our country and respond accordingly. And that, my friends, is today's First Five.